This morning for Black History Month, a man who really needs no introduction. He uses his voice for TV, sports, and radio, but most importantly, to help others. And he has everyone across Metro Detroit chanting this at the top of their lungs.
Detroit basketball!
It's the sound that's synonymous with the Detroit Pistons. The man behind the catchphrase has been using his voice here in the Motor City for decades as an iconic radio personality who goes by just one name.
M-A-S-O-N, first name and last name.
Known simply as Mason.
Do you give out your government name?
No, the government knows me when they want to find me.
The radio host can be heard weekdays during the midday hours on 105.9 KISS FM and at every Pistons home game, a job he landed by chance.
Someone from the Beasley Media Group said, hey, why don't you let Mason try it? I wasn't necessarily a basketball fan, so I didn't know. I just used my imagination because I had not a clue to what an announcer did outside of making noise that sounded muffled to me.
Now, aside from being the voice Detroit has listened to on KISS for more than 10 years, Mason is the first black announcer in the NBA for the Detroit Pistons and the only all-star in the history books of the NBA. Everywhere he goes, he's recognized when he begins to speak.
They do recognize my voice, and they say, I know you, I know you. Generations. I'm like on a third generation here.
But what's most important for Mason is the responsibility he has when it comes to Black history. He uses his voice for those who can't.
I'm just a vessel. I'm a vessel to sound the alarm. I'm a vessel to sound off from the past, and I'm a vessel to warn. I am that person that speaks for those who are shunned away. I use my celebrity to do that.
And he does that every day, not just when he's behind the mic.
It's the all-new 105.9 KISS FM.
What does Black History Month mean to you?
A reflection on America's past, present, and future, because it is woven into America's past, present, and future. You can't map out a future unless you can go back through the path of the past.
And he's one of the most humble people that you'll ever meet.
And full of personality.
Full of personality. Mason has also brought awareness to many different causes across Metro Detroit during his decades on the radio here. And I do want to point out, he was one of the first radio personalities to play my music. He put me on the air first. So,
very nice.
Mason, we love you.
He is just legendary around here. So many of us grew up to listening to him on the radio, and he is still around. And then his impact in the NBA, his voice, and just that personality is just awesome to see him continue on with his successful career. Did he actually talk to you anything about like who inspires him maybe in radio or in Black history for his career? You
know, that's a very good question, and I did ask him that, and during our interview, he casually tells me about a man that he met at a park and had a conversation with all the way back in 1967. That man happened to be Martin Luther King Jr.
Oh my God.
I was like, cut, stop.
That just gave me goosebumps.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he just said it so casually, and you know that Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated a year later.
Wow.
So
that's a huge impact.
Of course.
Yeah, that changes your life.
I'm very excited about one thing though. Starting March 1st, actually next week, Monday, I'm going to be teaming up with 105.9 KISS FM to provide news headlines during their morning broadcast.
Cool.
So when you're not watching us here on Local 4, you can tune in to 105.9 and keep the news with you on the go.
Excellent.